Hey friends, I'm Matthew from K20 Educators, and in this video we'll go over some tips for being a speaker on Twitter Spaces. In order to join a space you're not hosting, you must be following the host. And when the space is live, you'll see the space at the top of your timeline. One of the most important things to do at the beginning of the talk is to ask all participants to share out the space in the timeline. Ask everyone to tap the share button and tweet out the space. As a speaker, there are 5 best practices that can help amplify your talk. We suggest picking 1 or 2 practices unless you're a Twitter pro and can do them all. Number 1, tweet shares. You can share any existing tweet with the share button during your talk. These can be images, videos, useful web links, or calls to action. Consider leveraging this feature to support your talk or discussion, but be careful not to let it distract you or take listeners away from your space. If you'd like to capture audiences or surveys, you can tweet a link to a Google form toward the end. Number 2, emojis. Leverage reactions to engage your audience. All participants can react with 5 emojis. For the non-millennials out there, they can be interpretable, but generally can be identified as 100%, meaning I agree, solidarity, meaning I support, peace, meaning goodbye, wave, meaning hello, laugh, meaning that's funny. You can use these to elicit reactions or take polls. For example, a poll can be, throw up a 100% emoji if you're an educator. The more you use emojis, the more others will. It creates a good feedback loop and culture when lots of emojis are flying throughout the talk. Number 3, hashtags. In any tweet you post, please use hashtag K20Innovates. In addition, feel free to use other popular hashtags to broaden your audience. The top hashtags for educators are available in your Google Drive folder. Number 4, tweet threads. Once you share your space as a tweet on your timeline, you can ask listeners to engage with you on that thread in your timeline. You can ask listeners to post questions in the thread with the hashtag K20Innovates. This will allow listeners to feel seen and for you to keep track of questions without having to call them all up to the stage. Always answer questions by stating the Twitter handle of the person who posts. Number 5, live tweets. This is an effective way to engage large Twitter audiences. As you do your talk, you can ask a friend or colleague to take notes of key phrases or discussion points by pointing to a thread of tweets on their timeline and tagging your handle and hashtag K20Innovates. This allows others who are not in your room to get interested and allows you to have a summary of your talk available on your timeline forever. You'll see that people will engage for months to come. Here's an example of a live tweet thread Vridi created a few weeks ago when she interviewed Synthesis School. Notice how she tagged Anna and Christmas handles, who later retweeted the tweets. As we've already shared with you, you should start your talk on time, but end it whenever you see fit. If the conversation exceeds 60 minutes, that's definitely okay. We also highly encourage you to bring listeners up for at least 20 minutes to ask questions and make comments. Please experiment with spaces as many times as possible before June 4th. Open spaces and have casual talks with friends to test out the features. Lots of love from K20 Educators.